Men's lacrosse won their season opener 19-4 against Cornell, Iowa. Men's baseball started their season 3-1 this weekend at Kansas Wesleyan. Men's and women's bowling competed at the Baker Wildcat Challenge, where the men finished 5th out of 12 teams as Bryce Keecall bowled the first 300 game in Statesmen history, and the women's team took first place out of 11 teams. Men's wrestling competed 3 times last week, starting with a 29-10 loss to Central College. They turned it around and beat Shriner 52-6, then traveled to Pella for the Last Chance Invitational, hosted by Central College, where 3 statesmen took home individual victories. Women's wrestling competed twice, starting with a 33-9 loss to Midland University. They then traveled to the Midland Open, where a handful of statesmen found success. Men's volleyball started off the week with a big upset as they knocked off number 1 Grandview in 5 sets, marking the biggest win in program history. They then hit the road and swept number 11 Missouri Valley and Culver Stockton, both in 3 sets. Women's basketball played 2 games, starting with a 66-57 loss at Park, but they turned it around and defeated Graceland 77-49 at home. And men's basketball picked up 2 more wins. First, defeating Park University 107-81, then beating Graceland on senior night 102-87. And we have plenty of events coming up this week. On Tuesday, men's volleyball travels to Lamoni to play Graceland. On Wednesday, men's and women's basketball host Clark, the women at 5:30 and the men at 7:30. On Thursday, women's wrestling travels to Forest City, Iowa for a dual match versus Waldorf and Missouri Valley. On Friday, baseball heads to Joplin, Missouri to play Roosevelt and William Woods. Men's lacrosse travels to Howell, Michigan to play Cleary University. Women's lacrosse hosts Wartburg at 3 o'clock for their season opener, and men's and women's bowling head to Indianapolis to compete in the Hoosier Classic Friday through Saturday. Also on Saturday, men's and women's basketball compete at Culver Stockton. Baseball remains in Missouri to play Viterbo and number 18 Concordia, Nebraska. Men's lacrosse plays at Michigan Dearborn. Men's wrestling competes in the conference championship, which will be hosted right here in the PAC. And men's and women's track and field head to Maryville, Missouri for their conference championship, which will take place Saturday through Sunday.